Hi ladies, welcome to another episode of the Femalepreneur Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Barr. Thank you for joining me on YouTube, on Apple, inside my free Facebook group. I cannot wait to dive into today's episode. So the thing that I want to speak to you about today is essentially the need for women to stop hiding from their businesses and instead build a business that is truly in alignment with them so that they don't keep needing that time away from it. I've just done a live on Instagram talking about this very topic, but it is something that I feel really passionate about. And I know it's very polarizing because whenever I come out and say, you can't negate the work that needs to go into a business in order to build trust with an audience, in order to be consistent, build a personal brand, and essentially do the things that need to be done in order to serve people to a really great level. A lot of women love to come back and say to me, well, you know, that's why people get burnt out. Sometimes it's okay to not be okay, to need time away from your business, And for me, again, super polarizing, but if you need to keep having time away from your business and you need to keep having time off and away from social media and all the things, then something is not right. You know, there is something there that needs to be fixed. And this isn't to patronize anybody, but it's about seeing it as the opportunity that it is to really change something in your life. Because one thing that I have realized, now bearing in mind, I'm talking to you not to patronize you, not as a coach necessarily, but as a seasoned entrepreneur that has been in business for over 8 years, with no backup plan. So that's the thing. A lot of the time when I work with women and they're talking about needing time away and everything else, it's because they've got a partner that pays their bills. So if their business doesn't make money, it's okay. Or they've got a job that they've still got one foot in and one foot out of. So their business isn't actually paying their bills. Now, I'm a single mum with 5 kids, and I went all in on my business 8 years ago when I sold my house to buy it. So there has never been a backup plan or a way out for me. There is no, if it works, it works. It's got to work. So I've got to find a way to make it work. And I think that's the difference a lot of the time between the women that really make it in business and make it in the sense of, because success is relative. So this isn't always just about big numbers. It's about whatever success means to you. Now, for me, the fact that I've been able to clothe, feed, and, you know, continue to grow my family and feed my kids over 8 years and sustain myself and my business is success. You know, I feel like I've made it because female-led businesses have the highest open and close rate, and 1 in 3 businesses in the UK close within the first 3 years. So I'm already like winning the lottery, in my opinion. The fact that I've also had incredible financial highs, that I've been able to maintain high income, milestones and everything else is just the icing on the cake. But the very fact that I'm still here, still have a roof over my head, still live on the outskirts of London, which is super expensive, have 5 different children that have lots, you know, very high achieving, have all the things and do all the things. And we've got a really great life. We have fantastic memories. We have great holidays. That to me is success. For you, it might look like, unless I hit 6 figures, it's not success. It could be something else, or it could just be having a few extra £100 in your pocket so that you don't have to go back to work after maternity leave and you can instead do something else, be present with your kids. You know, that could be success for you. So when I say about longevity and success in business, that's what I'm talking about, whatever it means to you. But what I have seen is a growing trend of women who are not prepared to do the work that it takes to actually run a business. And it will be for so many different reasons, but it's essentially like a form of self-sabotage, because I think what happened, and what I've definitely seen, is with the rise of social media and influencers, it kind of gave this false impression that you could just turn up and have a really great, aesthetically pleasing Instagram grids and you would be successful. You could sell any old crap and people would buy it as long as your grid looks good, as long as you've got a certain amount of followers. And I think those days are long gone. Like literally, maybe in the beginning, maybe when you got the swipe up feature on your stories, like you had an opportunity to make money that us mere mortals didn't. But the reality is those days are gone. And even the businesses as well that started during lockdown, when they had captive audiences and people at home that were looking for distractions, looking for things to spend their money on, essentially, those days have gone. And I know so many incredible women that started a business during lockdown, weren't able to sustain the success that they had, and have now had to return to corporate. And that for me is where my strengths and my story as a more seasoned entrepreneur really comes into its own as a business coach. Because again, I'm not a business coach that just did a course during lockdown and then have been regurgitating the same information ever since. When I talk to my clients, it's because I have been there with staffing issues. I've been there when the footfall in the high street fell down. I've faced economic downturns. I've faced lockdown. I've done payroll. Like, I've done all of the things of businesses, the business of business, essentially. That means that I have an inner fortitude. I have a greater resilience. I have learn how to have radical self-awareness and know how I work at my optimum. I've worked out, trends and all of the things. I know how to tap into myself and find creative and unique solutions that are innovative for the market, because I've gone on this journey of self-discovery as an entrepreneur. And that's where I now step in as a coach for other women in business. So part of that is, like I say, being where everybody else is saying, it's okay if you need a break from your socials, it's okay if you need time out from your business, it's okay. Like, actually, no, it's not okay. To me, it is actually really doing yourself a disservice. And it's almost like, has the men been among us telling us it's okay, take a few weeks off your business, self-sabotage, don't worry about it? Like, what is going on? There is a certain element of work and commitment that you need to make in order to build a business, a credible business on a solid foundation, built on, an elevated, building a personal elevated brand as you go. Like, there's certain things that you have to put into place and commit to, continuing with, in order to have a business that will scale and will continue to serve you now and in the future, one that you can depend on, that will be here in 5 years' time. I'm all about building legacy-based businesses, and that's why it's so important to have something that really represents you as a person, not just the latest thing. Even if you've got a product business, it's about finding, why is this business important to you? It's about always having that deeper connection to the work that you're doing, so it becomes an extension of you, not just something that you can pick up and put down. So for me, business coaching, mindset coaching, working with women, this was something I was doing long before I was ever paid for it. I was, a mentor at the university. I was a mentor at the college. I was speaking at events, women in business, brunches, networking, because that's who I am. The fact that I now get paid for it still blows my mind, because I'd be doing it regardless. So therefore, because my business is essentially an extension of me and what I would be doing anyway, not just what I think is going to make me money. That's just the icing on the cake. That means I don't need time away from it, because how could I have time away from myself? The books that I read, the pages that I follow, the podcasts that I listen to, the conversations that I have, I'm doing that regardless every day, because I'm inspired by the work that I do, because I am committed to mastering the modalities that I use. I'm committing to being, understanding like consumer trends, industry trends, things that are working, things that aren't, so that I always have something unique and fresh to bring to the table for my clients. This isn't something that's just like, oh, well, I do it 3 hours a week, I do this, I do that. Now, don't get me wrong, I only have 2 days a week of childcare in my business, 2 days of childcare, for the income producing activities that I need to do that require my personal energy in my business. But even aside from that, I've always got touch points in my business most days. Only if I am super sick, where I literally wouldn't even be taking my brother's calls on those days, would I not be in my business. Even on holiday, I'm always thinking about, and again, it comes back to being an extension of yourself. Even when I am in the moment on holiday, even when I was in LA recently, I wasn't like, oh, thank God I'm away from my business. I'm sitting there thinking, wow, I am grounded in gratitude for where I am right now. Even on the school run, I'm grounded in gratitude, because my corporate self used to cry on the way to school about leaving my kids and having to hand them over to somebody else to take them to school. Like, I understand how precious these little moments are. So even just being on the school run now, I'm grounded in gratitude. I'm sitting there thinking, all the time about my clients, the women that I serve. And wow, I'm so lucky. Like, I'm having a moment of reflection here. I need to post it to my socials because somebody is going to need this right now. Somebody's going to understand me at a deeper level if I share this. So it's not, I'm always thinking about like, oh, what would make good content? It's like, this is just being. This is just me being in my business and being who I am at my very core, so that my business becomes an extension of it. Like money is a conduit and an extension of us, i.e. people that are good people that have more money do good things with their people, with their money. Sorry, people that are assholes that have more money are just bigger assholes with money. It's the same with your business. Like, it needs to be an extension of you. And that's the saddest thing that I see is when one woman is not working in integrity with themselves, they are feeling burnt out. So they're trying to rally the troops and everybody around them and say, it's okay if you need time away from your business, because they're trying to justify how they're feeling, because they are doing it from a place of that's all they know. So they feel like business is hard. But maybe if I get everybody else around me to agree that business is hard, then, you know, like they're missing out on something. Do you know what I mean? I think when actually when I speak to a woman and they're like, oh my God, yeah, it's just so fucking exhausting and da da da, I don't enter into those conversations. Even as a hypnotherapist, I'm a solutions-based hypnotherapist. I'm never going to be that friend that's like, yeah, you're right, it's just really fucking shit, isn't it? Like, that's never going to be me. I'm always like, well, if something is broken, let's fix it, because it shouldn't be like that. Business shouldn't be hard, particularly not, you know, in today's society where you can literally make money from your phone. There is no reason why any element of your business should be hard. So let's dig into that, what those steps could be, to, rather than hiding from your business, what you can actually practically tangibly do to get yourself out of that feeling of needing to run and hide from your business to a place of rhythm with your business. Because this is what I say to my clients, it's not about balance, it's about rhythm. Naturally, there's going to be cycles in your business where you've got times, as we are women, we're not trying to do business like a man, but equally, having just super quick side note, have you ever heard a man say, I need some time away from my business right now? No. And that was definitely my experience when I was at networking events, high profile entrepreneurial events where 90% of the room was men. The women that had even got themselves into those rooms with all those men would be the part-timers. Like, there was very few women like me that were like, girl, I got no choice. This business has to be successful because I've got hundreds of kids at home. You know, there was very few women like that were really committed to building a legacy, an empire, a business. But even the ones that were, like, the men were just like, yeah, this is us, like Monday to Friday, 7 days a week. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't need to do business like men. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, we actually have a super competitive advantage in that we are more creative, resourceful, unique, collaborative. Like, we can do incredible things in our businesses that men haven't even touched the surface of. Like, they're still trying to do like Wolf of Wall Street, eating, cheating, and hustle while they grind. Like, they're still very typical in the overly toxic masculine ways of doing business. And we're like the secret assassins right now, because we know that you can be in your feminine and your masculine energy, and it's okay for us to do that. Like, we're really not seizing the opportunity of this as women to bring something really unique and creative to the marketplace and to the economy and all the things, because we're still trying to operate from a place of, oh, but if you're a good mom, you only have a part-time pocket money hustle, side hustle business. If you want to be a good mom, you've got to be like in servitude of your kids 24/7, and you've got to be super present. So if you've even got the inclination to make your own money and to have your own financial independence, it can only be around the kids' nap times. Like, don't think that you can do it all. When, I guess for me, rightly or wrongly, I've never had that luxury of a partner. So I've always had to hustle like a man, but do it like a woman, because I didn't have anybody. I've got no family that could ever bail me out financially. I've got no trust fund. I've got no financial nest egg. So if I make money, amazing. If I don't, I don't. I've always had me, myself, and I ever since I've been having children. Well, ever since I was like 12 years old. So I've always been financially independent from such a young age. I was paying rent at 15. I never lived at home with my family. I didn't live with my mum from when I was about 14, I think. So That's just how it's always been. However, I'm not going to subscribe of working harder, not smarter. I'm all about, like, actually, particularly because I'm a manifesting generator, right? I've got no end of ideas and energy and enthusiasm for things that I could be doing. I could do 100 different businesses every single day of the week. So part of that, those processes that I'm going to take you through is getting radical self-awareness with knowing yourself. I know that if I just do one thing, that really doesn't light my fire. I need to have multiple projects at multiple stages. It's like being a money mindset coach, like energy needs to move. I fully believe in the abundance of the universe. So I am never going to put all of my eggs in one basket. Why would I do that when you could put all your eggs in multiple baskets and have multiple revenue streams? It's the reason that I have 27 revenue streams in my at any one time. Like last year, maybe this year it'll be more. And also why I'm the queen of leverage. So this is why, because I know who I am at my very core, and that is a person who is multi-passionate, a person who is always going to be doing all of the things and doesn't want to be restricted and put in a box. So therefore, I'm never going to work harder than I need to in my business, but I'm still going to do the work. I'm still going to get the results, but I'm going to do it in a really intentional and smart way. And that's what I want to share with you today. So the first thing that I think needs a shift and a reframe for women in business is being realistic about the timelines and what it is you want to create. If you're here to just start up a network marketing business, you just want a little pocket money side hustle, that's amazing for you. Like, I absolutely applaud you 100%. But I would ask you to hold up the mirror and ask yourself the question, why is that all that I want? Is that because that's all I need? In which case, amazing. I hate it when clients come to me and say, I need a 10K month with no relevance or connection to that number. It's just because it's what other people have told them measures success. If actually success to you, as I said earlier, was just having enough money to be with your kids and have some nice holidays, and that's enough, amazing. And you're going to be living your dream life on that basis. I am absolutely fucking celebrating you. I live on the outskirts of London. That would not even pay like my bills. So I've never been able to set the expectations there. Equally, neither would I, because I'm a manifesting generator and I'm like, about all the possibilities. But I absolutely celebrate women that do. Like, when I talk about my human design, it's because I understand that we are all part of a collective. We all have our parts to play. Not everybody can be the same. Not everybody can be all out ambitious, bold, audacious, like goals. We have to have yings to our yang, and there will be people that just want to tick along and do the little thing and they're content, and that is to be celebrated. I'm absolutely here for that. I wish I was one of those people. I've never been one of those people. It's always come up for me as an area for development, to be more content with what I've got. But equally, I know as spiritual beings, and even from a psychology background with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's knowing that we are always going to be looking for our next level of growth. We are meant to be all we can be while we are here. So I equally, I accept that part of myself. I see that as my growth while I'm here and having a human experience, is that I'm always going to crave that next level, and that's okay. That's not me being ungrateful. That's not being unsatisfied. That is me being who I'm meant to be. So I'm absolutely celebrating it. And one thing I realized very quickly is that I need to create capacity for that. So I can't keep adding more and more onto my plate. If I want to bring in new adventures, new projects, new abundance, new connections, new things, I've got to create space. And that comes from having freedom and flexibility within my diary so that I can move when I want to move and not be stuck by too much structure in my business. So that's another little tip, is that it's about knowing yourself. So that means knowing your human design type. That will impact every element of your business, how you market yourself, how you create sales, how you work with your clients, the programs, the offers that you offer to your clients. Like, everything should be impacted by your human design, because that is your blueprint for essentially how to be your best self. It's one of the things that I'm going to be sharing next week in my free workshop. So obviously, if you're interested, it'd be amazing to have you there, because that is where I really go into a little bit more depth about how to leverage yourself in your business so that you can create a summer of freedom with minimal touch points. It's also about understanding your zone of genius. So what do you do really well? Now, this isn't zone of competence. This isn't I can do it really well, so therefore I should. It's, does it make sense for you to be doing it? This is where, as women, again, I believe that only 20% of female-led 22%, of female-led businesses ever scale past 6 figures. And I truly believe it's because we are still treating it like a hobby. No matter how much money comes into that business, we are still treating it like a hobby and not a business. Because the reality is, my very first business, when I had to go all out and fully commit to the success of that business by selling my house and relocating my family, the first thing I realized was, I'm not a barber. I cannot cut people's hair. So therefore I have to invest in a team or I'm not going to have a business. It's almost like, because we've had it so easy, where it's like you can set up a business with nothing more than an iPhone and a Canva subscription. We therefore are so scared about investing in our businesses. We don't want to hire mentors. We don't want to build teams. We don't want to invest in software, because we've still got one foot out of the door. We've still got one foot in and one foot out, because we don't fully believe and commit to the fact that we can make it a success. So the least amount of expenses that we've got, the greater sense we've got of not losing anything if it doesn't work out. And that to me is mind-blowing. That is the difference to me between men and women in business, because I know men that will leverage their house, that will go all in to bat for their business. They will literally make no money for the first 2 years, which was definitely my experience, because I continually reinvested into my business. But other women that I've worked with more recently and in the online space are like, oh my God, hire a VA, like £20 an hour. No, don't think my husband would like that. Don't think, and they are literally stripping away every bit of money that comes into their business. I mean, let's not even talk about profit first or taxes and being good financial stewards of our money. But equally, if you have no pot to grow your business, to invest in a team, to move when opportunities come up, to work with somebody, or even just opportunities to get press and PR and marketing budgets and all of those things, if you have none of that, then how do you expect your business to grow without you having to work harder? So that's when women say, I'm completely burnt out and exhausted. Typically it's because they haven't got a team, they haven't got a Facebook ads budget, so they are therefore having to manually invite hundreds of people to their free challenges. Like, there's just so many layers to things that need to change around our money mindset, around our conditioning, why we are running our business like a hobby and not an actual CEO, boss lady business that it has the potential to be. We are still operating from a place of where we currently are and not where we want to be. Like, you've got to start stepping into that leadership role for your business. You've got to start being ready to step up and be seen and be heard and be a leader, be the voice of change. That's why I'm doing this podcast episode, because I know lots of people, and the nice thing to say is, girl, if you need a break from your business, you have a break. But the reality is, you're taking your foot off the gas and you're going to lose momentum in your business. Like I say, it's not about balance, it's about rhythm. It's about understanding you and where you are best placed in your business right now. It's about being supported, but also focusing on the income producing activities. So my childcare is actually only 2 days a week. Now, I have 5 kids. And I should, other people would say you need to be working every single day in your business. The reality is, I'm in my business every single day because this is who I am and what I'm obsessed with. I'm reading personal development books, not because anybody's checking. I do my morning affirmations, not because I need to be in integrity with what I'm selling, but because I believe in what I'm doing. And that's what's helped me. So therefore, that's what I then tell my clients to. Not, I was trained by Tony Robbins and he told me to do this thing, so now I'm doing it for the gram. No, these are the things that I actually have conviction in and believe in and know to be true for myself and my clients that work. So it's that, but it's also, I only focus on the things that are going to make me money. I have learned very long time ago that a lot of people will tell you a lot of things that you have to do in order to be successful. And actually, it's not about doing a lot of things. Actually, it's about doing a few things that feel really aligned to you, that are in integrity with who you are as a person, every element that makes up with, and then doing those things with intention is actually what's going to move the needle in your business. It's actually what's going to build trust with your audience and make you money. So that for me is all I need to then show up and do. I'm always focusing on, because I've got over my money mindset a long time ago. I still work on it every single day because I know with every new level of income, there will be a new level of resistance and a new devil that needs to be dealt with. and not dealt with as an eliminated. It's about making friends and understanding that your resistance, your jealousy, your negativity, your burnout, your overwhelm, all of this is just feedback. It's opportunities for growth, and we need to celebrate it when these things happen. But always with a place of, okay, well, that was valuable feedback. So now how do we get a different outcome? Definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing and expecting a different outcome. I've completely lost my train of thought on that, but essentially it's always having eyes on the prize, that the more money that I make, it's the more women that I serve. It's the more good that I can do, the more I can be supported, the bigger I can scale, the more visibility I can have, and the more that I can essentially push the movement that I want to create for female entrepreneurship, where we are leaders, not just part-time hustlers. We are literally female leaders that are making big money, doing good things, changing the world and making it a better fucking place. Like, that to me is what I want my legacy to be. So I'd love to know what yours is. Let me know in the comments. But essentially it comes from doing business your way, so that it is sustainable, so that you don't need a break from it, so that you can be really honest with yourself and create that feedback loop. So rather than allowing ego and fear and everybody else, society's expectations, conditioning to run the show, it's your business is the truest extension of you as a person. You are here with a unique mission and voice and purpose. It's about you fulfilling that through the medium of your business, so that it is essentially who you are and you don't need time away. So I really hope that that has helped you today. So it's about being realistic with the timelines and what success looks like to you. It's about knowing yourself and working within your zone of genius, your human design type, your natural energy type, and menstrual cycles even. It's about focusing on the income producing activities that you physically need to do in order to move your business forwards and to create sales, so that you can actually sustain this business. And then it's about being, investing in being supported, so that you get to do what you do best, where it just continually regenerates your own battery, and you are supported in all of the other things that don't require you. So I hope that you found this episode useful today. Genuinely, I just want to be part of this movement where women really step into that leadership role in their business, and we stop lowballing ourselves, and we stop making excuses, and we stop papering over the cracks as to why something doesn't feel good. It's about doing the deep dive mindset work. It's about having radical self-awareness. It's about having the courage to do things your way and not to anybody else's ways of being. It's about wanting the bold, audacious money goals, rather than playing small and conforming to what other people are telling you should be your goals. It's just about being the truest expression of you, so that you can create something that is sustainable and is ultimately contributing to your legacy. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you next week.